Okay, so wanted to get back to these books. I covered the books on horses by the same author, Mark Bergin. Mark Bergin. How to draw, but this is How to Draw Knights and Castles. Since I am drawing a comic book that has knights and castles in it, I figured it'd be good to kind of go learn, how to draw these things and all the little things and an armor that makes it hard to kind of make things look accurate or accurate enough, kind of like horses and everything. So this is an excellent book. As you can see already, I've been doodling castles, without a ruler. Once you get the fundamentals, you can pretty much do it without a ruler. Although when you do it professionally or more seriously, you should definitely use a ruler. But so let me go over this first part. This is pretty cool. This first part, first of all, it's a beautiful drawing. Really good. Castles and knights. And all the things that's involved with their chainmail and all that. Of course, you can always research old knight outfits as well. Old knighting gear. But here we go. Learning to draw is about looking and seeing. Keep practicing and get to know your subject. Use a sketchbook to make quick drawings. Start by doodling and experimenting with shapes and patterns. That's why I go over so many shapes and patterns in my videos and in my shorts. There are many ways to draw, but this book shows only some methods. Visit art galleries, look at artists' drawings, and see how your friends draw. Above all, though, find your own way. I love that. Find your own way. Also, what I should get back into is drawing the human body again, figure drawing. Maybe take a class again. I've taken a class on it before, but it's been a long time. Practice sketching people and everyday surroundings. This will help you draw faster and train you to capture the main elements of a pose. That's pretty cool too. Remember that practice makes perfect. If a drawing looks wrong, start again. Keep working at it. The more you draw, the more you will learn. That's why I always recommend bare minimum 10 seconds a day. Draw your grocery list, basic shapes. Just draw things around you. Use what's in your area. Draw a tree. So here, this is perspective. I can practice drawing this right now. If you look at any object from different viewpoints, you will see that whichever part is closest to you looks larger. And there's that foreshortening that I talk about in the Marvel Way book. And the part farthest away from you looks smallest. Drawing in perspective is a way of creating a feeling of depth or suggesting three dimensions on a flat surface. As you can see, that's a vanishing point, VP. Everything goes to that. Low eye level, view from above. And here's some basic shapes here from this. Where's the vanishing point? It is down here, of course. The VP is down there. And you got a cone shape. This cone, I forgot what you call these things. A coned roof. I'm sure there's a certain name for them. But yeah, again, that's a basic shape. A cone, triangle type shape. It goes down to the vanishing point. Same with here, it's a triangle shape. Okay. So let me practice drawing this. I got all these little scraggly papers in here. Got one in the back of the book. Lost my place there. So yeah, let's take a look at this right here. And I'll create a vanishing point up here. Okay. And again, I'm not using a ruler, I'm just kind of using my steady hand, which I've refined and practiced for a long time. I'm going to make a triangle. Okay, it's not going to be perfect. Look how light that is, okay? Okay, so everything's going to be coming from here. Now let's take a look at that again. Okay, you can do something like this. That's the front wall. And we got first, I don't know what to call these things. I'm not a castle expert. Pillars. Okay. And these jut off. I don't know, these called turrets or something, I don't know. And I can just do one of these. Okay. And then I'll put the big old door, the drawbridge. And the drawbridge, even that's going, the middle of it right here, is going to a vanishing point. Okay, so I'll do half and half, an upside down U. Again, I'm not that worried about it being perfect. I just want it to follow the rules very loosely. Okay, never perfect. Things are never perfect. So, looking at this comes down an angle. Okay, and then you just connect the dots here. Okay. Again, this is a loose sketch. And that, see the indentation right here? That goes down, goes across, goes back up. Alright. And these go to the vanishing point here. Another one right there. See how everything's starting to fit from that vanishing point? Again, oh, there's my pencils. Again, just a steady hand following the rules here and copying a little bit here. That's pretty much the gist of it. Everything makes sense structurally. Yeah, put the windows there. And yeah, here I can put in the details of the brickwork. You know, it's just a doodle sketch just to get the basics down. You know, and then these things here, they're following that point. So I'll go 1, 2. Ooh, it's a little close there. A little sloppy, but you get the gist. Keeping a light pressure, very light pressure on that pencil. And of course this connects to that. Okay, so it goes down. And why not do a light line going across there to follow? Notice that, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. And that's the basic. And just practice that. Just practice a cube, you know, going to a vanishing point. You know, do that triangle. Right? And just practice. Hey, there's a cube from a low perspective point. Doesn't have to be perfect. You know? And oh yeah, what if this went up like that, and then that connected to that, kind of like some kind of weird hat. You know, then just erase these lines up here. You have some kind of structure. Upside down U. And you have some kind of structure from below. It has this slab roof. And I like that. And then just erase those points that you don't want right there. Again, it's the fundamentals. You can always do the details in later, but as long as you work on the fundamentals like this, you're gold. Alright, we'll go over the next video. I'll go over these. This is like the Tower of London, kind of a castle. 2-point perspective with castles. Okay, not using a ruler, but using a steady hand and not worrying about perfection. Remember, it's only 10 seconds a day. See you in the next video.